Who said the ice melts at twice the speed of political restraint? It may not be a proper quote, I don't know. But in recent days, no figure has demonstrated this better than Putin. His remarks at the Arctic Forum today in Murmansk mark a significant escalation in Russia's long-term polar strategy, militarily, economically, diplomatically. The Arctic is no longer a pristine wilderness beyond politics. It's fast becoming the newest theatre of global power projection. Russia, aware that the North Pole offers fossil riches and strategic sea routes, is making a hard power grab couched in the language of cooperation, backed by nuclear-powered icebreakers. And Putin's statement that the number of military servicemen in the Arctic will be rising comes alongside a chilling assertion NATO is now treating the far north as a springboard for possible conflict. This is not idle rhetoric. Since the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Russia has reopened Soviet-era Arctic bases, upgraded its northern fleet, redoubled its efforts to dominate the northern sea route, a shipping corridor that could, in theory, link Asia to Europe faster than the Suez Canal should the ice continue to retreat. Russia's $83 billion Vostok oil project, though delayed by sanctions, remains central to its ambition. 15 towns, 2 airports, and a 480-mile pipeline are not infrastructure for coexistence. They are fortresses of extraction. And overlaying this is the strange subplot of Donald Trump's renewed interest in buying Greenland. The visit this week by Vice President J.D. Vance, the gerbil, and his wife Usha to the American military base at Pituffik, coyly relabelled a private trip to watch dog sledding, has enraged locals and embarrassed Copenhagen. Mutagenda, Greenland's prime minister, has called it a provocation. For Putin, this is a golden opportunity, with America awkwardly inserting itself into Greenland's internal politics. Moscow composes the reasonable Arctic actor while quietly building nuclear icebreakers and hosting investment forums to lure BRICS partners into joint ventures. Indeed, Putin was at his most ironic in Murmansk, extending a frosty hand of friendship to the West. We won't allow any infringement on our sovereignty, he said, but we are open to cooperation. In other words, come build ships with us, but don't ask questions about Svalbard or undersea cables. Traditionally, the Arctic was governed by a spirit of scientific collaboration and ecological stewardship. The Arctic Council, comprising 8 states, including Russia, was a model of post-Cold War diplomacy. That model is now in tatters. Since 2022, Russia has been suspended, and although it hasn't left the Council, it stopped paying its dues. Western nations, meanwhile, avoid formal engagement but continued murmured technical talks, such as those chaired by Norway's Arctic ambassador Morten Høglund. And Norwegian participation in the week's Arctic Forum, even in pre-recorded video, has drawn fire from academics like Professor Kari Aga Mikkelbost, who rightly sees the event as state-sponsored propaganda designed to whitewash Russia's aggression elsewhere. Putin's Arctic posture reveals a paradox, in other words. He wants both militarized isolation and cooperative engagement. Russia is increasingly reliant on foreign shipbuilding and technological partnerships, but the war in Ukraine and Western sanctions have cut off the traditional routes. Over the North Pole. So what are we witnessing? This is not a new Cold War, but a heated rivalry in a freezing landscape. The Arctic is the last frontier where climate change, global commerce, military strategic efforts all intersect. Putin knows this. So does Trump. So increasingly does China. And what began as an eccentric American obsession with buying Greenland has catalyzed into a wider realignment. It's ice station zebra all over again. The polar regions are now political zones, and Russia's so-called ice grab is not only about shipping lanes or LNG. It's about signalling that even at the ends of the earth, sovereignty is up for contest, and collaboration, if it exists at all, will be transactional, strategic, and never without conditions, which Putin is going to define.